Well, hello and welcome to something that all of you have been crying out for. Do the GT86, do the GT86. Well, today we have a Toyota GT86, and not just any Toyota GT86, it's the one of 250 TRD version. It's just good fun. Oh. I'm joined by Steve Turner, who
Hi.
you've seen now and then. And here we are, 2 litre Toyota Racing Division tuned. Difference between this car and the other one, stickier tyres, different alloy wheels, a few interior trim bits and pieces, a rather aggressive body kit, and a slightly altered suspension setup.
Not to forget the £6.5 grand extra.
It is a little bit more, quite a lot more, than the standard car, but ooh, hasn't the GT86 set the world ablaze with affordable sports cars? It's fantastic. It's everything you want a sports car to be. It's short, manual gearing, really tight, direct steering. You know, really nice bucket seats. It feels just perfect. It's everything a sports car should be, and there's a very good reason why it's been getting so much praise. It has just under 200 horsepower, but it's very light. This specific, obviously, TRD one isn't so lively, it's not quite so tail happy as the standard car. That's because the racing division of Toyota care a bit more about lap times. Now, though the power hasn't increased, it's still just under 200. The rest of the car, aesthetically, I'm told it has a slight aerodynamic advantage over the standard car. But we don't care about that, do we? In a car like this, it's more about doing this. Oh God, the brakes are responsive and the throttle is just alive. It's like a glove. When a driving enthusiast gets into a car like this, somebody who really appreciates things like good handling and, you know, a lively throttle, steering you can feel, gives you feedback, and you know, that is what this car is about. It's about man and machine, and the integral sort of bond between the two, which has been lost in an awful lot of modern cars. And this car in particular has made a lot of people stop and think. Manufacturers like Honda now thinking affordable sports cars, it's time for them to make a comeback. It's time for them to have, you know, a real authority like they did in the 90s. The market's re-emerged, and people like me would sure as hell go and buy a car like this. Big criticism of the GT86 is that maybe it could do with just a tad more power, but ultimately that's the only criticism. I suppose with this car we could be talking about the price. Is £6.5 grand worth of the trinkets? Well, if I'm honest, not. But it's such a pleasure to drive that I can't fault it too much. I mean, it revs and revs, and that manual gearbox, it just pulls, and all the power's at the top of the rev band. Then you change gear, and here we are, back on the brakes again. It's so immediate, it's so fantastic, and I'm getting so worked up, so hot and bothered about this car. They're actually steaming up in here. You find the demisters, Steve?
I'll have a go.
They're probably in here somewhere. There we go. That's working a treat. Perfect. Oh, they're clear already. There you go. Nice, useful.
What was that, 3 seconds, 4 seconds?
Yeah, well, it's something that we don't normally test in a car like this, is it? To be honest, demisters. Now, from the passenger seat, Steve.
From the passenger seat?
Comfortable or not? Because I mean, you're what, 6'5"?
I'm 6'5", so
it's a small car.
It is a small car, but do you know what? You sit low to the ground. I've got all the leg space in the world, more than I could even need. Admittedly, I have left that much space in the back, but you know, right now that doesn't matter. Comfort, yeah, what I'd expect from Toyota. It's, you know, the bucket seats do hug, a little bit firm, but it's a essentially it's a
Sports
sports
car.
car. There's no denying it. I'd say the same of an MX-5 or a Z4, for example. Headroom, unbelievable for a car that is so low to the ground and does duck like that. It's just a comfortable place to be. It's a nice feeling.
Joe, I've got a very strong argument for this being the most important car of last year, because it's the sort of adrenaline shot the industry's been needing. They've been churning out so many crossovers and dreary things that just get people to work and back, and then you've got this with its tight little gearbox and really responsive, nimble handling. You're coming onto faster roads now, and I mean, you can make it sing. It's not the most. That's the other thing this TRD's got. It's got a quad exhaust, and it sounds a little bit fruitier than the standard car, if I may demonstrate. It's a real instant. It's not about the power in this car. It's not, because a lot of cars give you near on 300 horsepower in the sports car market, and well, you can't use all of it. Like the MX-5 in many ways, and that's high praise indeed. This car, you can use all of the power all of the time. It's great. It's great. What else do I need to talk about, because I'm getting quite carried away? Yes, all the power's quite high in the rev band. Visibility is very good for a sports car. Steve, you touched on the rear room back there. There's not lots of it, is there?
No, but then again, it's like you said, it's a sports car. I wouldn't expect any rear legroom at all in an MX-5. It's a two-seater. We have the benefit here that this is a 2+2.
Oh, here we go. Sorry, we're just coming onto a national speed limit road, so that's...
Punch it. It just leaves you grinning like a Cheshire cat every time.
Oh, change gear. Oh my goodness, I love this car. Oh, it's just so in tuned. You know, if you're somebody who appreciates those sorts of things in a car, it just ticks the boxes. And there's nothing else out there at this price that does this quite as much. It's great. It's purposely designed actually to have enough space for you to take 4 spare tyres to a racetrack. This car was actually a personal passion of Mr. Toyota, and that's the primary reason why it's here today. So thank you, Toyota. I think the industry actually owes a bit of thanks to this car. It's like I say, that little bit of reinvigoration to show everybody that you can make money in this market. That's what this car's done. The engine's silky smooth. The gear changes are proper little clunks. It just feels right. It's like a glove. The steering wheel's really nicely sculpted. The interior is a bit bare bones, but I think that's part of a purposeful design in that, you don't want any real distractions in this car. It's all about the driving. The way it handles, the suspension that's firm, the steering that's just so responsive, the throttle that's so responsive. This car feels like it really has a pulse, which is great in a world of relatively white goods. This is something a bit special. Like I said, this car, one of 250. It's got some nice little touches. I think the price you pay, the price is really something. Excuse me, that is my text tone. Now the whole internet knows it. The price, I think, is something you pay for exclusivity in this case. I would say probably the standard car is the better option, but from the driving we've done so far, it definitely feels stiffer. It feels a little bit more focused than the normal car, and where I gave it a prod on that roundabout back there, it didn't feel quite as lively around the hips, which some people will want, but this is a very nicely focused and fantastic effort, Toyota. Keep it up.